Hi Jim, Bicoastal Reboot! So just like in the last video, I'm not technically bicoastal because I'm in Austin, Texas for work, but maybe we'll just settle for South Coast? Anyway, you asked me 3 questions and I have 3 answers, or more. Number 1, what is your favorite podcast and why? As you may know, I am part of the listener group contributing to the podcast resurgence, which means I have entirely too many queued up. Like 600 unheard episodes? And yes, I've got Serial, This American Life, The Moth, and Radiolab on my can't miss list. And I'll stream interviews from Mark Maron, or The Nerdist, or Slate's Working Podcast while I'm tinkering around the apartment. But when it comes down to it, there are 3 podcasts that have me wearing down my iPad battery, Pavlovian style, while I wait for the red circle. Startup, Reply All, and 99% Invisible. Startup started up as a podcast narrating the joys and tribulations of Alex Blumberg as he left Planet Money and This American Life to begin a new podcast company, which is now called Gimlet Media. This was right around the same time I set out as an independent designer and began Stoli Creative. And it gave me flashbacks to my Austin Center for Design days when I almost started a hardware technology company. Pro tip: you won't get too far if you don't know much about hardware. Startup had so much interest that they've just begun season 2, which follows 3 women who founded a dating company. Reply All is the second show from Gimlet Media, and it covers all sorts of weird, interesting things about the internet, which is great for a tech geek like me. The third is 99% Invisible. It's a beautiful, curious, story-driven show that looks at the 99% invisible activity that shapes our world. As a designer who likes to rant about ethics and not making crap, I really love this show. Another bonus? All 3 average 25 minutes, so you don't have to invest an hour of listening attention. Another bonus? In an effort to collect some of my favorite episodes, okay, really, it's an effort to tell you what to listen to, I started a Tumblr, podlist.tumblr.com. Go hear it. Question number 2. Finally! If you were asked to speak at the 99U conference, what would you talk about? I think I've figured out I'm better at helping other people figure out their thing than I am at identifying it myself. Always the researcher, never the researched? So I'm not totally sure, but I do think design is the new Reformation. So I'd probably spout off on Reformation history, power shifts, design ethics, and collaborative creativity. Stay tuned. Third, how did you discover your passion for design? In hindsight? That's an answer, right? I can't point to a specific moment when I discovered design and my life was forever changed. It's more like little moments of affirmation along the way that I really am a designer. I mean, I grew up in a creative, artistic, musical home, and also on a hobby farm, which means with a little ingenuity, a ball of twine, and a pocket knife, you can solve most problems. Fast forward a decade or 2, and my former coworker Christopher showed me a video of IDEO where they reimagined a shopping cart using design thinking. And that really resonated with me. More like, hey, there's language for the way that I approach the world. From there I found ways to use human-centered design in religious publishing, which led me to study at AC4D, and now I fully claim the designer title. Though, to be honest, I still feel like a toddler in the design world. So those are your 3 questions, my 3 answers, and now my 3 points. And now, Jim, questions for you. What app are you currently obsessed with and why? How did you know you wanted to be a pastor? What are your creative, spiritual practices? That's it for this week's Bicoastal Curiosity. You're up next. Can't wait to hear your answers. Bye. Go listen.